She's Phyllis.
And he's Mario. Welcome to LaTabella.
We've stepped away from our cucina, our kitchen, to visit Jim Latanzi at Hollis Hill Farms. Jim is one of those young entrepreneurial agricultural people here in Lunenburg that really makes our community very it's unique to be this close to big markets like Boston, Worcester, and yet to have farms where local livestock, free range chickens with their eggs, beef. Yeah, he's raising cattle for beef. This is a great young couple, Jim and Allison, and let's go meet them.
Oh, this is so fun! Come on, girls!
Phyllis and Jim are feeding the chickens here. And Jim, tell us a little bit about the history of your raising these chickens.
Yeah, I've pretty much had chickens my whole life. From the time as I was a kid right on, they're still an integral part to the farm. As you can see, we have completely free-range chickens. So not just cage-free, but free-range. We let them out every morning and close them in at night. We run an all-natural diet. There's no hormones, there's no crap in their feed. It's considered an all-natural program. You can taste the difference in the eggs, and you can see really the color in when you crack an egg. A fresh, free-range egg, there's going to be a really yellow, rich yolk compared to what you're used to in the grocery store.
That's what I'm talking about. That's what reminds me of eating in Italy, is that rich yellow color, because they, on the kinds of farms my family grew up on, these were peasants. They couldn't afford the rich farming feed and the hormones, so the chickens had to fend for themselves. But the eggs were a great color. I'm looking forward to that.
What does it cost you approximately to bring a cow to market by the time you have it and you raise it?
Right off the top, there's a $600 processing fee to have a cow butchered into all those individual packages. I'm into them for $2,000. Buy my beef at market price, and it's like, you might see $3,500, $3,600. So one animal, $1,000 bucks, and I got 2 years into the thing. It's really tight margins. And so what we're doing is working on trying to become a little bit more economical in our feed program. I mean, I'm buying corn silage. Well, we're growing our own now.
Well, that'll cut down on the cost.
It'll cut down some of it, but overall, the same time, if we say I make $1,000 on a piece, well, if we're processing, I think this year we're gonna do like 15 animals to market. Well, it's $15,000. But if I'm doing 30 animals, it's basically the same work, and now it's $30,000 in revenue for the farm. So, well, it's more than $30,000 in revenue, it's $30,000 in profit margin to work with for the farm. And so ultimately, there's a bit of work to it, but it's hard to go from small, you've got to stay small enough that you can maintain the focus on animal health and quality of feed and all that kind of stuff, but also, you need to do enough business to justify this line of work. Because you can't look at it as an hourly job, that's for sure.
So you lock the doors so fox can't get in or whatever?
Yeah, we close them. They get their own ramp to go in and out, so I close them all in at night. And they know to come in on their own.
Right.
So.
Sure, once it gets dark.
Pack me up a dozen, please.
Yeah. Well, they're easy, because we actually have there's a little fridge in the driveway. It's self-serve.
Oh,
and,
okay.
We just keep it stocked all the time.
Oh.
And so
on the way out,
we sell most our eggs right in the driveway. So people come in. It's an honor system thing. You just put your $4 in the little. I don't have to be there. I just keep the thing stocked up.
Right.
And then of course we take them to farmers market as well.
Yep.
But I'd say 60% of our eggs go through that egg fridge.
Yeah. You remember those frittate that we made for during the known as Simple Sunday Supper episode? I wished I had had these eggs for that. That would have been nice.
We take the eggs out every day, so they're not gonna hatch.
Okay.
With having a walking, talking rooster out there,
Yeah.
ultimately these eggs are gonna be fertile eggs, but you can't tell. There's no speck in them.
Oh, it's still warm.
Yeah, that's a double yolker for sure.
Oh, look at the size of that.
Yeah, it's like a duck egg.
Hey, come on, let me. Don't you think you're gonna peck at me now? I'm Mario. I'm from LaTabella.
Good. I mean, we've got plenty of beef coming along this fall. I've got plenty of fat beef. They're going to be going to market. We can go over to the feed bunk if you want to take a look at that. This is the entire corn plant, chopped and packed, and so ultimately it's a fermented feed, and you can smell
You can
it.
smell the fermentation taking place there.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that takes place
over time
in a silo.
They also have what are called bunker silos with big concrete walls, and they pack it and cover it with plastic. Those are the ones with the tires on top. And then what we actually have is called an ag bagger, and it basically makes a giant sausage 8 foot in diameter on the ground of this feed. And so then we go back in with a machine and scoop it out, and then we can feed it right back out to the animals.
Jim, what keeps it from spoiling?
Well, ultimately it will spoil at this point. It has a shelf life of a couple of days once it's become exposed to the oxygen, once you dig it back out of the bunk or out of the silo. And so by being in a silo, the oxygen is cut off, and so it won't continue to ferment anymore. It reaches a certain point and then it basically shuts down. And so you can keep feed packed for a year or better. And then, of course, once you dig it back out, that's when it becomes exposed to the oxygen again, and that's when it can go bad on you. But ultimately, it's got a shelf life of a couple of days, and so that's what we feed the cows is fresh out of the bunk or out of the silo and right into the feed bunk.
So Jim, tell us, where can we buy your products?
Well, you can come right here to the farm on Hollis Road. We have a self-serve egg fridge right in the driveway. It's on the honor system, and we keep it stocked with fresh eggs. You can get them there. You can come visit us at the Lunenburg Farmers Market on Sundays, right in the center of town. That runs 10 to 1. And then you can buy our syrup at Lanny's Orchards, Dick's Market Garden, Stillman's Dairy Farm. And then Lanny's actually sells meat. They have a freezer right there with all of our stuff right in it. So you can stop by Lanny's and get your burgers or your sausage.
Okay.
Perfect.
Well, thank you very much for letting us come in and see your operation here.
No, my pleasure.
For the viewers, as I said earlier, this is Jim and his wife Allison are one of those young agricultural people that we have here in Lunenburg. We're lucky to have them. It's they're conscious about the environment. They're conscious about the animals. Yeah, Jim was mentioning earlier, yeah, his products are more expensive than you might see in a supermarket, but if you're looking for natural Lunenburg raised animals and eggs, I know I'm taking some of those eggs home today, and you should too. Come down and see Jim. You'll be happy you did, because this is a good young man, and he's got a good operation here.
And we're just back from Hollis Farms.
Yeah, Hollis Hill Farms, and we hope you enjoyed the interview and the taping that we did there. Jim's a pretty interesting guy and hard worker. Tonight we're going to prepare a roast stuffed tenderloin of pork. Phyllis is making the stuffing. She'll tell you about that in a minute. And it's going to be roasted with some veggies. We're going to do carrots, parsnips, and new red potatoes. And that's about all we're going to do on camera. But we will be making a salad to serve the crew. So, Felicia, why don't you start with the stuffing?
Sure.
Oh, wait. And some wine.
Yeah.
Salad.
All right, so the first thing we're going to prepare is the stuffing for the roast pork loin. And what I start with is a little bit of bread. I had a lot of bread left over from various places. We had a lot of cookouts this summer, so I had some hot dog rolls, some hamburger rolls, I had made bruschetta a number of times, so I had some of the bread that had been in the refrigerator for, maybe a week or more. It was pretty dry, and I combined it all in little tiny, I just kind of tore it all apart into little tiny pieces of bread, put it in a bowl, and that's going to be the basis for my prune apple stuffing. It's delicious, and I hope you'll enjoy it. So let's get started. The first thing I'm going to do is grab a little bit of egg, beaten egg. It's maybe about an egg and a half. I had made another batch earlier, and it was 3 eggs, so this is the remainder of it. So I'm going to pour that in, just drizzle it in a little bit over the bread.
Is that one of the fresh eggs we picked up
Yes,
at
actually
Hollis
it
Hill
is.
Farm?
Yep.
That was funny with the chickens
Wasn't that
running
fun?
around.
Oh, yeah. A little bit of salt and pepper, and maybe by the time I sprinkle it all in here is maybe, a half a teaspoon or so. If you like it a little more salty, you can add a little bit more. I've got some chopped up parsley, fresh parsley, but you can use dry. That's no problem at all. Put that in.
Fresh tastes a little better.
Yeah, I think it does. Yeah. Then I have my pitted prunes, and I've taken them and chopped them up into littler pieces. I'm going to sprinkle that in. This would be maybe a half a cup. Put that in. And then I've got some apples, and you know what? I also chopped some onion. I would say maybe a half a cup of onion. I use a sweet onion, Vidalia onion, whatever you like. Depends on how much onion. I'm just going to use it all. Put that in.
Oh, look, there's a moose down at the waterfall.
Oh, yeah. I know that trick. Okay, then I've got a little bit of chicken broth, which you can buy in the grocery store. This is a smaller package of it, and I'm going to use that to wet this up a little bit. Maybe I'll use, let's just say a half a cup. It depends how much bread you have. If you have more bread and you like the stuffing to be more bready, then you can use a little more of this to make it moist. And if you like more fruit in it, then you can add more fruit and less of the bread. I'm going to add my apples. Now, these apples I bought, they're what did you buy today?
Golden Delicious.
Golden Delicious, yeah. I like them. They have a nice, they hold up well when you bake them in a stuffing like this. They've got some sweetness to them and a little bit of tartness, not a whole lot. And I'm just going to give this a quick toss. And in a couple of minutes, Mario's going to be ready to bring his roast pork loin over and stuff it with that. And this is going to be wonderful. And the reason why I add more fruit, it turns out to be more of I would say a condiment than a stuffing. And you don't really need to have applesauce on the side when you make the pork roast because you've got all your apples right in here.
We decided to do a pork dish tonight, and I went out shopping. I wasn't quite certain what I was going to pick up for pork. It sort of depended on what was available. I found something that I thought was outstanding in every way. It's I guess a half of a pork loin, and it seems to have been cut probably at a butcher shop somewhere. It's not really a tenderloin, and it's not really a whole loin. But what intrigued me was it was $2 off each. I had to buy 2. That's a big savings, and I love big savings. It was wrapped in a plastic, sort of a cryovac, but it wasn't, the air wasn't sucked out of it. It wasn't airtight. It was loosely packaged and sealed in a cryovac. And I read the label, and the label says, no fuss, no muss. You just take this thing, plastic and all, you put it in the oven, 425 degrees, 30 minutes, you take it out, slit the top of the plastic. It's self-venting at the corners, and let it rest for a few minutes, take it out of the package, slice it, and you're going to be amazed at how delicious it was. And it was $2 off. I couldn't pass it by. I brought it home, and I said to Phyllis, Phyllis, look what I got.
And what did I say?
Well, let me show you what I got. I got that look. You all know that look, right? You all got it, or you all gave it at some time. It goes something like this. And it's usually accompanied with a no, no, no. Phyllis said.
I said, number one, I'm not happy with the cut you got. I was expecting a loin with the bone in it, that you could slide under the bone and then open it up and put the stuffing in. That's what I had imagined. So when he came home with this, I thought, what am I going to do with this? This is not going to work. But you know what? We went back and forth all afternoon, and we compromised.
What?
We did. So I'm semi-happy. I wouldn't say totally happy, but I'm semi-happy. And Mario's going to show you what he ended up with that made me okay about it. And hopefully the end result, after we put the stuffing in and we serve it, it's going to be a good thing.
Now, Phyllis's biggest problem with this was that these boneless cuts of pork, today's pork, is a lot leaner. They dry out when you cook them. How are you going to keep it from drying out? Thought about that, did our research, read the labeling on the package. It said that it has been marinated in a saltwater solution. Quote, a brine, okay?
Like a butterball turkey?
We know that, yeah, same principle. Lots of meats have that 10%, up to 10% water, salt water, I should say. And I know that that helps to keep it moist, helps to tenderize it, helps to flavor it. I don't like paying pork prices for water. The other thing we're going to do is we're going to stuff it. That's going to help to keep it moist. Season the outside with a lot of olive oil and garlic and things like that. The olive oil is going to help. We had a second controversy. I said we should wrap it in bacon. We're going to tie bacon up around all four sides of this, and the bacon's going to baste it, lots of fat in this bacon, and help to keep it moist.
I think it's a compromise on the flavor. I mean, I like the taste of pork, and I'm just worried that the bacon may overpower it. So what we decided, we're going to do one roast wrapped in the bacon, yes, and one without. And then we'll just taste test it at the end and see what we and the crew like.
We'll have a vote, and we'll post that on our Facebook page, so you'll know the results of our official taste testers here. I'm going to try the, like opening a letter, 8.5 by 11, you know, you take it out of the envelope, you open it up, and it's a tri-fold. So we're going to try a tri-fold here. Find the right angle for that. I think we'll start here. So about a third of the way down, be careful, it's a sharp knife. You don't want to go all the way through, but almost all the way through. And you don't want to go all the way through for two reasons. One is, it'll be a bugger getting it back together again and tied. Secondly, my hand is there. If I go all the way through, I'm going to get cut. We don't want to get cut. So there's one page. Now, as I look at it, I have a choice. I could either make a second cut, open it up and fold it, or I could like try to do it like continue to go through like a, I don't know, picture a jelly roll, where we just keep cutting and cutting. And one of the things I want to do is make certain that we have the same thickness throughout. And you know, I think that looks pretty good. I'm just going to pound away. This needs to go in the dishwasher anyway. In order to maybe save you some cleanup, you could wrap this in a plastic wrap. That would keep some of the splatter down. But I'm going to be gentle with this.
And it's tenderizing all those fibers that I don't know if the camera can pick those up, but all the fibers in the meat, when you pound it, it really does help to tenderize it a little bit.
Sure. I'm going to put a piece of bacon here at the bottom.
We'll see.
Guess who's skeptical?
I like tradition. My mother used to always do a pork loin with the bone in it. She'd have it, either the butcher cut it or she'd cut it. You know, it's memories. I'm all about memories. And while he's doing
In
that,
your
I just
kitchen.
want to talk about the stuffing. Now, I can see I made way more stuffing than that pork loin can hold. So what I'll do is I have got a small casserole, and I've got some from the first batch that I had made earlier this afternoon. And then whatever Mario has left over that doesn't fit in the roast, I'm going to put into the casserole dish, maybe brush it with a little olive oil, and stick it in the oven while the roast pork is cooking. And then we can just have a whole bunch of stuffing. I don't know if you do that at Thanksgiving when you have turkeys, but we always do because everyone loves stuffing.
Crushed garlic, or minced garlic, I should say, in olive oil. If you could set that aside for me.
Sure.
I'm going to spread that with my hands. Hope you don't mind. I did carefully clean and disinfect those hands.
I want to season the meat a little bit from the inside. With a little salt and pepper.
This is really not going to hold a lot of stuffing because it's just the size of the cut of meat.
But if you decide to try this, and we'll have the recipes online, you can use a larger pork loin, which would be probably as long as this cutting board, and
longer.
wider, and you can fit much more stuffing. But as I said, anything that's left over, you throw it in a casserole dish, pop it in the oven, and it'll be just all good. There you go. Yep.
Teamwork.
There you go.
Oh, wait, I've got to get that last piece of bacon in there.
Oh my
We don't
goodness.
want to forget that.
Goodness, no.
Well, it's going to have to hold the stuffing in also.
I'm not as fussy a cook as Mario is. All right, if you squeeze it, all the stuffing comes out. I mean, as it's cooking, the egg and everything else is going to all cook there, and it's going to all come together. It's going to be fine.
All right.
Not to worry.
There are two. Hope that's enough to feed this crew. Each
I'll take that.
Each piece of roast was about 1.5 pounds, so this is 3 pounds altogether. So we're going to add some garlic and olive oil
Oh, I love the garlic part.
to the outside.
Never can have too much garlic.
If you can carefully bring out that roasting pan and don't burn yourself when you take it out of the oven, we'll add
The
this
one
to
with
it.
all the veggies in it?
Yes.
All right, those are roasting up nicely. These are the potatoes and carrots and parsnips.
The vegetables will act
Careful,
as a
that's
rack
hot.
to keep the roast up off the bottom and absorb the juices. Give this a little toss just to redistribute the, we tossed these with olive oil, salt, and pepper earlier. And that'll blend with the juices from the meat and make this entire dish pretty succulent. And the vegetables don't remember if I said this already, but the vegetables take longer to cook than the meat, according to all the recipes I could find. And so that's why they were in the oven ahead of time. But we're going to put a little simple salad, and this is very simple. Just mixed greens. I found some nice looking arugula that I put in here. And for a change, I made the dressing. Phyllis almost always makes the dressing, and I love her dressing, that's why. But I used extra virgin olive oil, 3 parts, white balsamic vinegar, 1 part, salt and pepper, and I used a wedge, about a tablespoon of my special Moroccan preserved lemons that I love so much. Very salty, very lemony, but adds a nice flavor to the salad dressing. So let's try to mix it up to get some of that dressing on every little leaf, nook and cranny. And then I'm going to shave some Parmigiano Reggiano. This is the good stuff. This is the imported stuff that costs a bundle, but I spare no expense for my friends. This, I'm just going to shave pieces with the vegetable peeler. Really simple. I think it's going to taste good with the lemon-infused salad dressing. You can use any salad dressing you like. If you prefer store-bought bottle dressing, that's fine. How much of this you put on? I don't know. It's a personal taste.
Oh, that looks so good. And that tastes delicious.
Did you taste some?
I did. It's perfect.
That's a very simple salad. You could add anything else you wanted to it. Tomato, onion, olives, whatever you prefer. Today's pork is very different from when trichinosis was a problem. It's new, it's leaner, it doesn't have as much fat, does not have to cook to as high a temperature. Lower temperatures are okay. I've got an instant read thermometer here. It's got a metal probe that I've stuck into the meat, and we're just going to watch it. It's at 100 degrees right now, internal temperature. Now they say 125 degrees internal temperature. You do need an instant read thermometer of some sort. I happen to like this one because the probe and the wires are heat resistant. They can sit in the oven, and they give me a readout, and I can set a temperature and get a beep when it's ready. The pork roasts are done. I'm going to cut a slice here so you can see.
That smell. I wish you could smell it. It's fabulous. Look at how
Good
pretty
looking
it is.
thing.
You've got the
It seems to be tender. It seems to be moist. Nice looking stuffing. This is the one with the bacon on it. Don't forget, we're going to have a taste test, and we're going to report the results when bacon or no bacon.
Be sure to check our recipes on Facebook, which will be up in just a day or two, hopefully.
Be posting these shortly. Let me cut a couple of pieces of this piece here without the bacon. By the way, I took the strings off ahead of time. We used a pair of kitchen shears to do that.
We've got our roasted vegetables, our parsnips, our red potatoes, our carrots, and they're done really to perfection.
You fork
Just
test
nice.
them.
Yep.
As long as the fork comes in and out. I like these root vegetables and potatoes cooked soft, but crispy on the
Yeah, I
outside
like
and
them
soft on the
browned,
inside.
so be sure to make sure you're turning them a couple of times while they're roasting.
And of course the salad, mixed green salad with a vinaigrette flavored with a little wedge of our Moroccan preserved lemons. Nice flavor in that, you're gonna like it. And shaves of Parmigiano Reggiano on top.
And you've got a terrific, hearty meal to serve to your friends and family.
A great dish
Yep.
after apple picking. And we're
Yeah.
in Lunenburg, we're in the heart of apple country, so do go out, try it.
Yep.
Hope you try the dishes, hope you enjoyed our show. Like us on Facebook, share it. All of that helps to keep us producing more shows, and we certainly want to do that for you. And recipes, we're beginning to post recipes on Facebook, and we look forward to you joining us again for our next episode.
In the meantime, buon appetito.
Buon appetito, and ciao.